What is probate? Does my will avoid probate?
Well, let's define what probate is first of all. Here in Wisconsin, and this is true in every state, but here in Wisconsin, we are in a situation where there are very particular rules that cover what happens when you pass away. The state of Wisconsin has provisions in the statutes which cover all of those situations, and we do that because we want things to be orderly when we pass away. We want to be able to have a will, for example, that says, I want all of my assets to go to my kids, or I want my wedding ring to go to my oldest daughter, or I want my antique car that has been refurbished to go to my son. All of those kinds of things are things that children, or I should say that clients, want us to have in their wills or other testamentary documents. So the state of Wisconsin has statutes that will use all of the power of the state to enforce what we put in those documents. The problem with that is that is a public process. So the process is this. When you pass away and you have a will, the will gets filed at the courthouse. Then somebody gets appointed to handle your affairs. That's the personal representative. The personal representative then has to prepare an inventory of all of the assets that you own and file that inventory with the register in probate. The assets are then used to pay off whatever the debts are, pay off final medical expenses or other expenses that might be associated with the probate. And after that, then the assets that are left, after all the expenses have been paid, are given to the beneficiaries that you put in the will. The problem with that process is that is all a public process. Anybody can go to the courthouse and look at any probate file, and they can see what the assets are. They can see who the beneficiaries are. They can see how much the beneficiaries will receive or did receive. All of those things are public. In fact, a lot of that information is public. It is available to anybody who has a computer. They can go online and get that information. Our evaluation of that situation is that in these days of creditors and predators and identity theft and all of the other problems that our children are facing, we do not want our clients' business to go through the probate process. Public is not good under those circumstances. So our suggestion is that they avoid probate by moving assets into a trust. A revocable trust means that we can put assets in that trust. Those assets will then be handled by the trustee, who could be the same child or children as the personal representatives for the will. But the fact is that all of that will be private. Nobody in the public will know what assets there were in your estate. Nobody will know what assets have gone to the children or what amounts of assets the children have inherited. So we recommend that our clients use a revocable trust or an irrevocable trust or a combination of revocable and irrevocable to avoid the probate process and keep things private as those assets are transferred on to their children or grandchildren, as the case may be.